Hello, friends. Many of you have been asking me the past few days regarding how 2023 is going to play out, what exactly the markets are looking at in the year 2023. And I thought, let me share the astrological perspectives of 2023, how the markets are going to behave broadly based on the astrological movements that we see out. Even before I start, I just would like to inform you that astrology is a vast science. When it comes to technical analysis, there are two elements that we always look at: the time and the price. But when it comes to astrology, it's an in-depth study of time, and there are so many factors that are affecting the astrological perspective. So even if in the case of a technical chart, if you were to look at it, the same chart will give you different perspectives based on the price and the time analysis that we look at. But when it comes to the astrology, it is a vast science, and there are so many conclusions that can be drawn upon based on the astrological movements, the planetary movements that are happening in the sky. So we use Vedic astrology, and we use the sidereal time analysis for understanding the planets. And what happens is that I strongly believe that when it comes to astrology, it is more of the person who looks at the chart, the astrologer's time, and the moment he looks at that particular chart and how he interprets the time when he is going through, how he interprets is will make more sense than what exactly he is seeing in the astronomical chart. So it is purely a judgmental, more of a judgmental thing than that of the pre-drawn conclusions. I have seen best of the best astrologers couldn't interpret what is happening when this time cycle is not going through right. And basic student who has started with 1 or 2 months of astrological readings also have given up very strong astrological readings based on his time cycle when he is running through very good time. So basically, it is more to do with the person who interprets the charts. So if I were to make this particular video, if I'm going through a very good time right now, whatever we interpret based on astrological charts that we look at turns out to be very good, and it will happen the same way that it has happened. So for the last 4 years, we have been making these videos of forecasting based on the technical charts, again studies, as well as the astrological planetary movements that is taking place. In that particular sequence, this is the fifth year that we are making this particular video. And this time we are more going in depth of the astrological planetary movements that I have been looking at. So it will give a broad indications of how things will shape up in the year 2023 with regards to the equity markets and with that of the gold and silver that is taking place in the international commodities market. So I'm just giving you a broad disclaimer saying that this is purely for educational purpose, and based on astrological moves, we are going to look at only the time cycles, how broad-based the time is favoring for the equity markets or not going to be favored for the equity markets. And we recommend you to follow trend following methods of technical analysis or deep study of the fundamental analysis before investing, taking a trade as a trader. So this is just for the education purpose, and it is going to be a broad-based indications of the trend in 2023. Now, this entire 2023, first I'm going to discuss about the equity markets, and we will be looking at the entire year into 4 different quarters. And this 2023 have something very unique in terms of the planetary movements, wherein all four major grahas or the outer planets that we call Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu, and Ketu, all four planets are going to make a transit from the existing house to the new house. So it is going to be a very important, unique year for both the equity markets trend or the markets as a whole and the economy wise, and as well as the individual level. There are going to be many changes that are going to take place in the year 2023. So speaking about the first quarter of 2023, the year begin with Mars being retrograde, and that is one reason as to majorly we have been waiting for the Mars to turn direct to make this particular video. As soon as the Mars turned direct on Friday morning, early morning, we are making this particular video. Now, the major transit that is going to take place on Tuesday night Indian Standard Time is that of the Saturn. He is moving from Capricorn to that of Aquarius. And again, he is moving from his own house to another, his own house. So what are the major things that we are looking out for is like there are many astrologers who believe that Saturn in Aquarius is a recession based thing. To a certain extent, yes, but there are many other indications that we need to look at how the recession will play out. So my understanding and my research about Saturn as a whole is that when he is there in Capricorn, it is more to do with looking backwards. When Saturn moves into Aquarius, it's more like looking forward. So what do I mean by that is that the last 2.5 years have been, he has been in the Capricorn, wherein he has been looking out for the backward things, what has happened in the last cycle, 25, 30 years. So it is like a reword, our reword means we will go through that rest, recession, regression, retro. So these are the kind of qualities that Saturn exhibit, and this is what we have been going through last 2.5 years. When we had COVID rest, forced us to take rest, we were like looking for what happened in the previous years, the retro effect, the regression effect. So basically, like restlessness will take place. So these are the kind of effects that we should have gone through in the last 2.5 years. This is clearly translated into the human psychology as well as gets translated into the markets as such. Now, when I say that Saturn is moving into a much better house to that of Aquarius, wherein it is like more to do with forward-looking, the progression that we are looking for. So basically, at the start of this particular, at the time of making this particular video, there have been many rounds of people saying that we will be having a global recession. It is time to regress. It is a time to retrace whatever we have gained and all those things. I believe that these are all effects based on Saturn being in Capricorn. So on 17th of January, 2023 or 18th of January, if you are in West, as per the planetary movements, once Saturn moves into the new house, Aquarius, slowly and slowly, like we will forget about the re-word and move forward with that of the progressive words. So we will be looking for the central bankers Fed and RBI. We'll be looking for more push towards the growth. So we will not be looking backward, what has happened, what went wrong, and all those things. We will be looking forward for growth. So it will be like a change of opinion from rate hikes to the rate cuts that could happen in the year 2023. A lot of good things will take place in 2023 compared to that of 2022. So if we were to think about the recession and politics, it's time to start looking forward for impressive things in life. This is one major thing that will take place immediately in the month of January, 17th of January. So we are looking for something to take place. Obviously, yes, since Saturn is a slow-moving planet, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a time for us to get into the system of like forgetting about the past and start looking into the future. And markets will obviously be looking forward with a mixed response to that of a bullish biasness in the months of January, February, and March. These are the three very good months we will be looking at in 2023 beginning itself. I don't say that there will be a huge exponential rally that will take place, but slowly, steadily, we will be moving ahead towards probably to the previous all-time high or to a new all-time high by first week or second week of April. We will be looking at that particular juncture in Nifty as well as in the global markets, Dow Jones and all those things. So basically, planetary movements in the first quarter is going to be very good. Here, I would like to point out that we will be having our budget in 2023 February month. So first thing that we will be analyzing is like, since I have said that Saturn is moving into a progressive mode, people, media could call this particular 2023 budget as a pro budget or a very progressive based budget, a vision oriented budget. These are the words that will be highlighted after the budget is being read out in the month of February. So basically, it's like looking forward, start looking forward in the first quarter of 2023 is what will happen. Now, when it comes to the second quarter of 2023, again in the month of April, during the last week of April, we have Jupiter transit from Pisces to that of Aries. Now, here there are a few things that we need to start observing very carefully with regards to the planetary movement Jupiter. Jupiter for the last 3 years was not in fact, like not 3 years, 4 years was not in a very good position. I've added Jupiter in Sagittarius also not as a very good position because it was conjunct with Ketu. So last 3-4 years, the Jupiter was not in a very comfortable position. And what happens is that whenever he is not that happy or he's not in a clear, favorable position, the problem is like we'll have a lot of mixed signals happening and taking place in the economy. You could recall the 2020 bottom to that 2021 high. The rally that we had seen was also very, very sharp, but there were like a lot of confusions that was taking place. Whether this will sustain, this will falter, but this is not a fundamentally strong thing that is taking place. We do not know what will take place in the economy. So there were a lot of confusions. This was basically like Jupiter was not in a very good position last 3-4 years. Now he is going to get into a very good, comfortable position into Aries. But then not immediately he will be blessed. The problem is like the moment he enters into one of his friendly house of Aries, there exists Rahu along with already in Aries during this particular period. So what happens is like there will be again a little bit of mixed signals, but I will definitely say that it will be bullish rather than a bearish outlook that we are looking out for. So once he moves, what happens is like there will be a move towards Rahu in the first 2 months, 2.5 months. So this particular quarter of April, May, and June will be a little bit of mixed to that of a corrective stage that we are looking at in the markets as such. So there will be a chances that we shed out what is not required, and we will start focusing on fundamentally strong companies out of this particular quarter 2 in 2023. Basically, not each and every stock, each and every indices, each and every instrument will be participating post the second quarter of 2023. So there will be a correction required in that particular time frame. And this is one area wherein we have been looking out for very solid base to be tested with regards to the Nifty, the Indian markets are concerned. So what I am saying is that the bottom that we will make in the second quarter of 2023 will be the base for almost next 2-3 years. So that will be a very crucial base that will be formed, and we will be having a lot of rallies based on this particular post this particular correction. So look out for the second quarter, wherein if we get a corrective phase, then it is a very, very important zone to get into the portfolio, be streamlined, and after which we will be moving forward. The third quarter is all about the retrograde motion of Saturn and Jupiter. And, again, there will be a convention of closeness of Jupiter along with Rahu in the backward direction. So this is the phase wherein uh, when almost all the major grahas are moving backwards, and this is a phase wherein we will really be in a bullish mode. Why I say that is that whenever the planets have are moving retrograde, it is in a position wherein you will test whether it's a real move or a faulty move or a unsustainable move, to be precise to be called. So this is the base where the stage will be set for the best companies, good companies to establish themselves, and this is the rally that we are looking out for to begin in this particular third quarter. When it comes to the fourth quarter, there's another two major transit happening on 30th of October, that of Rahu and Ketu. So basically, if we cross over and Jupiter completely moves away from Rahu, I think around last week of August to that of September, October is when he will be moving away from Rahu. So once that particular move happens, is when the real super bullish move will take place. So we will end up in 2023 in a very, very strong bullish mode, rather than looking for regression. Right? And another thing that I would like to draw your attention is that that of the third quarter, when the planets move backwards, it is something like the Saturn is now traveling from Aquarius to that of Capricorn. He won't enter Capricorn, but then he will be looking forward to move towards Capricorn. So again, the third quarter, there will be people saying about recession, degrowth. So that kind of negative outlook will come in the third quarter of 2023. So if you were to conclude, it's something like the four quarters. So the first quarter is next to that of the bullish biasness, and the second quarter is where we will be looking out for some kind of corrective modes in most of the institutes. Third quarter is all about setting the stage and start building up the things fundamentally. And the fourth quarter is going to be super bullish, wherein we will be having a super rally that will take place. To point out a few more other things with regards to 2023 astrological moves. It is not a year where any stock and every stock will participate in the rally. So you need to be very careful in stock picking. You need to be very calculative in riding the trend. It is going to be the year for people who follow the rule-based system and who are more disciplined in approach. I'll always keep saying that Saturn, though he is not in a very good position or a very good house, he will always be blessing this person with a lot of discipline and who have a rule-based methodology of riding the trend in the market. So it is always good that you be disciplined enough with regards to the 2023 markets as concerned. And Saturn will be definitely blessing those disciplined traders, because as per Kala Purusha Tattva, we are looking at Saturn in the 11th, which again indicates income and gains, and it will be given to those who are disciplined and who are having a solid rule-based methodology to write. I'm not speaking about learning the big things. I'm all speaking about even if you have been following a simple moving average of 10 or 20, a crossover of say, SMA 20 and 50, whatever simple things that you are doing. But if you have the consistency and discipline in this particular 2023, the profits and incomes and gains are going to be blessed by the Saturn in this particular year. So this is the approach that we need to take for 2023. This is going to be a very important year with regards to our Nifty 50,000 market that we have highlighted in last year's video. We are sticking with the same bullish side. So we are in a bull market, secular bull market. There's no question on that. The corrections are bound to happen between And whenever there are dips, it is good that we accumulate good portfolio, good quality portfolio, because henceforth from 2023 and early part of 2024, it's going to be all about the strong stocks that are with solid fundamentals and who has real backing. There are a few more things which I would like to highlight for the year 2023. 2023 and 2024 will be uh, listing of many major IPOs, I believe. Because I've seen that the wealth creating stocks most of the time have Saturn in acquisition. So we are looking out for Geo to be listed. We are looking out for NSE to be listed. And most likely these companies with solid base, solid fundamentals will get enlisted into the market in 2024 when Saturn is in Aquarium. So the wealth creator stocks are going to be listed next 2 years. So look forward for such fundamentally strong companies, because these will create a huge massive wealth, because Saturn in Aquarius is the beginning for these particular wealth creators or the multi-packers that we call as such. So it is all about stock picking. It is all about riding this particular trend in the year 2023 with a more disciplined approach rather than uh, random selective of stocks or random taking a trade. It is better that since we are in a secular bull market, we continue with the upside with all corrections being utilized properly. So this is about the Indian equity markets. With regards to the US markets again will have a different time cycle based on the Sagittarius Lagna that we are looking out for the US. So there will be little difference with regards to the US market. So most of the major turns will be almost identical. We are looking out for the second quarter bottom out in the terms of the US markets. I don't believe that there will be a new bottom in the formation in the US. Many analysts have been calling for a new bottom in March, April, but I don't believe a new bottom, but ideally a higher bottom than that of what has taken place in 2023. From there again, the next 2 quarters will be in the bullish side. With the last quarter again, globally we'll be looking out at super bullish mode that will take place. And with regards to the international gold and silver, for gold and silver, this year Jupiter will be in a very strong position, especially after he moves away from Rahu. As I said, once he start moving completely away from Rahu, is in a very comfortable position. Jupiter is very comfortable. So what happens is like it is a blessing for the equity markets, but it is not so bullishness for that of the gold and the silver. So we are looking out for one more a deep downside with regards to the gold and the silver is concerned. And only once he moves away from the Aries in 2024, April, May is when the new bull market for the gold and the silver will begin. So this is my understanding that as long as the Jupiter is in a very comfortable position, we are not going to see a huge rally coming out in gold and silver. That bull market will begin by April, May in 2024. And these are the indications that are been laid out. Obviously, as we have considered only the major grahas, the outer planets, last 4 outer planets, namely Saturn, Jupiter, with regards to the small cycle moves, the small trends in the market, we will be looking at further shorter grahas for their movements, and based on that, on that particular moment, we will come up with the short-term trends. So this is just a broader indication for the entire 2023. As I said, we are not giving any price targets because this year we are looking only for the time analysis, deep study of the grahas, grahas. We are looking for not each and every grahas in depth. So broadly speaking, the mood will change. Mood will change slowly, steadily, because Saturn in Aquarius will take a time to convert this particular recession, regression mood of the public sentiment to that of a progression mood of the sentiment. It will take some time, maybe like 3 to 4 months. And, things will be much better as we move along, and we'll end up 2023 with a super bullish uh, move. So this is my understanding with regards to the astrological indications are there for 2023 with regards to the markets, investments, and gold, silver. To stay connected, we are planning to start the daily videos once Saturn transit takes place. That is by 18th or 19th of January, we will restart the daily videos with regards to the shorter term trends and shorter term planetary movements are concerned. So thank you for watching this particular video in full. I hope 2023 will be much better for each one of you than that of 2022. Again, to conclude, even before concluding, I'm just giving you this is a video based on grahas and for education purpose only. And we have just given the broader trend for 2023 rather than in-depth price analysis for 2023. Thank you so much once again for watching this video, and stay connected with the YouTube channel.